to another episode of the Master of One podcast, coming to you live from the Creative South Bucket.
Hey, this is Patrick Hill of Whiteboard.is, and you're listening to the Master of One podcast.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Master of One podcast, coming to you live from The Bucket, the official Creative South radio. We're excited to talk to you today about some of the stuff that we've seen the past week and what's going on in TV, film, art and design, and toys and games. I'm Andrew, your master of art and design.
I'm Patrick, your master of television and film.
And I'm Luke, your master of toys and games.
Let's get this thing rolling. To kick every episode off by going around the table, which is where we talk about something new, fun, and noteworthy about our weeks. Guys, we're sitting around a very real table.
Yeah.
Did you think that intro was too short?
In my mind, I thought it could have gone a couple more measures.
I was disappointed we didn't repeat the turnaround.
It's amazing what post-production can do for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fade away, definitely. But we are sitting around a very real table. We are live, broadcasting live right now from The Bucket. The official.
That's right.
Deep.
The outtakes from that are so good.
Oh,
Or bad.
It depends on. Yeah, I guess it depends on your preference. We were creating. They're not drops, but
They call them station IDs.
station IDs for the radio
probably
station.
heard them today already.
Yeah, if you're listening live, then you may have heard them already. But all we had to say was, "Hey, this is Andrew."
This is Patrick.
And Luke.
From the Master of One podcast, and you're listening to The Bucket, the official radio station of Creative South.
It's deep.
It took 2 hours.
You're not wrong. It took so many. I think you gave us 5 produced ones to choose from, but that's not even all of them.
No, there was another
here.
20 minutes of gibberish.
Yeah, it was. But we did it perfect that time.
Yeah.
Maybe what we need is the
pressure.
The pressure of a live broadcast. Maybe that's what it is. But so here's what we do: we go around the table and we talk about stuff that's been going on in our weeks through the lens of pop culture or through the lens of just what our weeks look like. And so, Patrick, you're sitting to the right of me.
So here's the thing: I've been trying to keep up with Barry this year. So Barry is a new show. It's in season 1 on HBO. It just premiered 3.5 weeks ago.
Yep.
And it's a show about a hitman, a very prolific hitman, who decides that he's looking for something different in his life, trying to find his purpose, uncover kind of who he is, and he starts taking theater classes. Now the twist on the show is that as he gets better at theater, he will get worse at being a hitman. Ultimately, the thing he loves will be the thing that kills him. And so I think it had a very strong premiere. And these are shorter episodes. These are 30-minute episodes, which most of the shows we're used to on HBO are an hour.
Yeah.
And a very strong premiere. And then the second episode, it just felt like nothing happened. It felt like it was
A filler or a setup episode. It was a setup.
Yeah, but it almost felt like it cut to commercial, but it just never came back.
Right.
We were in the middle of something. And so the third episode came out now. Have either of y'all been able to keep up with the show?
We did watch one when we were at Crop last week.
We did.
But we're not.
Third episode aired last Sunday.
In.
And I'm on 2. I haven't watched the third yet.
So I'll say this. I am optimistic. Third episode was better for me than the second one. So again, we didn't really have that high that we got from the end of the first episode. We haven't got back to that point because that scene was just really impactful. But we are starting to find out more. And as you would expect, we're finding out more about the characters, more about their backgrounds, those type of things.
Right.
And in the investigation that's going on, bringing in the police department, everything, we're starting to really feel some tension with what's going on. So I am still excited for the rest of the season.
That's good.
If I'd had a repeat of last week, then I think I would have been.
That's so interesting because we talked about that. You gave us a preface to the second episode, and you didn't like it as much. Luke and I loved it.
We
laughed a lot.
We laughed out loud, and honestly, I laughed at the first episode, but I don't remember actually laughing as much as I did on the second one.
Do you like the Czech character?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
This arm is bullshit.
I know him. So I know that actor from Gotham. He's in Gotham, and he plays a hitman in Gotham.
Yeah, but he plays a hard hitman.
Yeah, he's way more serious. There's still like a comic tinge to his character, just because the show knows what it is, a little bit. But it's not
It's
to the
self-aware.
effect.
Shootout in the first episode, and I call it a shootout. It wasn't really a shootout,
Sure.
but like
just the
shootout.
climax of the first episode.
it was. And I guess I'm looking for more of that. But to be fair, it's meant to be a comedy,
Right.
So it's funny that I said, "Oh, we're finally getting some tension," when what we're supposed to get is laughs.
Well, I think what you're having the reverse Breaking Bad. Because when Breaking Bad first started, it was intended to be a dark comedy, much like Barry is. And after the first couple of episodes, and that's why they cast Bryan Cranston. And
It just turned into a
and then
drama.
after a couple of episodes, they realized that we're trying to force feed this thing that it's not. We need to let it become the thing that it's supposed to be.
Right.
And then it transitioned into one of the most acclaimed dramas in TV history. And I think you're feeling some of you want it to be a little bit more like Breaking Bad, but the reality is it's supposed to be like the original Breaking Bad.
Well,
It's a dark comedy.
Sure.
Right. So here's the thing. I'm still on board. And it sounds like you're on board too.
Oh, for sure.
I would definitely recommend the third episode, and I'm excited to see how this season plays out. And if anyone out there is listening, I mean, February, March, it's kind of like a show void. We're waiting for all these things to come back. Show hole.
Yeah.
But April 20th and after,
We got Westworld.
just the floodgates open between Handmaid's Tale and Westworld, and we still have a freaking another year for it's fine.
I love that
It's
you
fine.
said floodgates with Westworld because it's the Sea Time or Sea World or whatever it's called.
It is?
Yeah.
Well, in the preview they have water, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
realize that.
Do you remember the finale of the first season?
I think they
It
said
showed like the three other worlds.
it showed
that there were.
Samurai.
Well, it showed Samurai. I didn't
And it
see
showed
the other one.
There's like a wave on one of them. It's like a
okay.
seaside
Two of
world.
the
or whatever.
showrunners did an AMA on Reddit, and they mentioned glimpses into like some type of Roman world and
Yeah.
to Samurai world.
So Samurai and Roman are from the original movie, Westworld, that
Okay.
the show is based on. But I
So
didn't
did y'all
remember
s-
like a water world.
So this
You don't
hasn't-
remember Waterworld? Kevin
love that movie.
Costner.
Kevin Costner.
killed it in
Oh, man.
Waterworld.
Listen,
Y'all
great.
created this tangent. I want you to know this, but and this hasn't happened yet. But these two showrunners of Westworld, they did an AMA on Reddit, and in it they said that we're really concerned about spoilers because it's not that people are intentional, but when people are trying to like pick apart what's happening in the show, they will reveal things that are actually going to happen. Like they'll
Sure.
uncover the truth.
Sure.
And they said the problem is they feel
The
like
truth
there's
is out there.
They feel like there's not enough of a barrier they feel like it's too easy for people to stumble on truth and it ruin the experience. So they have actually said, now whether or not this will happen, but these two showrunners said they would do this, and they are actually from HBO, that they are going to post a video that is the spoilers for the season. Like actually tells you this is what's going to happen. That way the people that want spoilers can just watch the video and leave everyone else alone.
That's a really good idea, actually.
As opposed to just saying, as opposed to speculating.
And that speculation turning out to be true and accidentally ruining it, they want to just cordon it off and say, look, here's the thing. If you want to know, go over here and they'll tell you.
Otherwise, leave everybody alone.
Yeah. So, it's an interesting idea. Now, the issue is that speculation is part of the fun of it. Is
Right,
trying to solve the
Yeah.
puzzle. But I guess you could decide to still do that.
Sure.
But an interesting thought. Who knows if they'll actually release it. I checked before I came down here, and they still haven't. They said they're going to post a video. They still haven't posted it yet. But
Gotcha.
I thought what you were going to say, not to continue the tangent, but I thought what you were going to say is that they have, that they were going to post like teaser information, that they were going to post whatever, like video of things, but it was specifically to
like mislead.
to mislead people. Like
No.
they would show stuff because they didn't want people to try to guess because of it.
I just thought it was a really interesting.
That is a very interesting idea.
And how they're sitting behind closed doors trying to solve the problem.
Right.
So, Andrew, why don't you pick it up?
Okay, so we just got back. Oh my gosh, this week has been crazy town. I'm trying to think of even what
else you've done.
Yeah, what else I've
Wilsey's
done?
telling me that. So Wilsey's listening right now.
Hey,
Yeah.
Will.
He's saying that he thinks they did post the video and it was just a Rickroll. But I haven't seen it yet, Will. So I might have just got fooled. Go ahead, Andrew.
I'm glad that you updated us on that.
Yeah.
This is the
If I just brushed it under the rug.
yeah. You just swipe. You're like that. I love.
delete.
That's the beauty of live broadcast.
Yeah.
Maybe we should. No.
No.
Never mind. I instantly cut off that rabbit trail. So it's just been travel. I mean, I've been reading a lot of books. I read through the entire Headlopper Volume 1. Volume 2 just came out last week, and I've been hunting for it. I've been to 3 different places in 2 different states. Luke just put on sunglasses like a cool dude.
I feel sweet. It's dark.
But I can't find Volume 2. It came out last week, but it's sold out everywhere. Oh, I know what I can talk about.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so have you guys ever had Peeps, marshmallow Peeps?
Yes.
They're great.
Okay, they're
That's
not.
all.
Black and white.
Wait.
Yes.
I'm on a hard stance. I don't like Peeps.
I don't either. To be honest, I think they're gross.
I totally can.
Oh, for
Now,
sure gross.
Up to
It's
I have
the
a threshold
texture.
of like 3. If I eat more than 3, then I'm total down.
Anybody
on
listening,
it.
if you want to tweet Master of One M of One podcast and tell us what you
We'll
think
do a
of
live poll.
There's
tweets.
there's
Yeah.
no taste.
Peeps, not tweets.
There's no taste, and
Tweeps.
it's like the marshmallow is like slightly grainy, but then you add on the glitter
Yeah,
outside.
and just eating
It's not
dirt.
glitter. It's not sugar.
It's just sugar.
sugar
Granulated
dust.
the
sugar.
grainy plus the thicker grains, and gosh, it's so
Not a
bad.
fan. Not a fan.
You know what's funny about that whole thing is I was just saying that as a throwaway statement.
Nah, hard
and
pass.
now we're like.
I don't think you can just walk away from it, Andrew.
Okay, that's fine. But I read Lumberjanes, the first volume of Lumberjanes. I purchased the second volume of Lumberjanes. What?
Like you said, Blubber James.
Blubber James.
Blubber James. And
Blubber James.
oh my gosh, Paper Girls, like the
Yeah.
first compendium,
Yep.
and then I got volumes 3 and 4, which I think will be in their own compendium later. But I got those, and I'm gonna read through those on this trip. So much good, graphic novels and writing. It's really neat. I did learn. Well, I'll save it. Never mind.
Okay.
Andrew McLean, who does Headlopper, has another story arc that he did.
Oh, nice.
And I think you'll dig it a lot. But I'll save it until I actually get it and read it, and then I'll review it. But like about 6 years ago, I saw maybe it was 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago, I saw a statue. It's like this maquette. DC puts out their. It's like one particular line. It's called the Batman Black and White, and it's just based on the Caped Crusader. And he's just the regular Batman, but it's seen through the eyes of different designers and comic book artists.
Right.
And so there's been tons. I own. Actually, I don't own it anymore. I gave it to EJ, but I owned the Sean Galloway one.
Yep.
Which is great, very comic booky, like very almost cartoony. Cheeks Galloway, and I had that one. But the one that I wanted really bad, because I'm a huge Mignola fan. If anyone's listened for more than a half a second, they know I'm a huge Mignola fan.
Right.
He did one, and it's this beautiful cell shaded, like the paint job on it looks like it's one of Mignola's pieces of artwork, but it's 3-dimensional. And so they achieved that by painting chunky shadows into the actual sculpt. I should have had it here because
It's fine.
That's fine. But I've been searching for it for years and years.
Ever since I've known you, I think.
I think it was probably pretty early on from that point. Yeah, exactly. And I could not find it. I've looked all over. You can find it on the internet, but it's like super expensive, and I just
Right.
have never pulled the trigger on it because of the cost or whatever. Fast forward about 5 years, six years, and rewind 2 days.
Right.
See what I'm saying here? So it's forward and then back.
Forward, then back.
Forward, then back. And then we were in this comic book shop, this unassuming comic book shop.
Heroes or something like that, right?
Heroes Comics.
That sounds close. In Newman.
No, it was like comics. tires and more or whatever. Like it's what's the?
Is it
what's the-
Noonan, right?
It's called
Is it-
Heroes, wasn't
Heroes
it?
Comics, I think. Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah,
Heroes
no,
Comics.
because it had like a whole like. Well, it's fine. We
Heroes
went to this place-
Comics and boxes and
went-
cardboard and
and tables and lots of
Space.
extra space. But we walked into this place because I was looking for Headlopper. It was the beginning of
The
this
new
trade.
trade.
I wanted the new trade. I wanted the volume 2. So we go in and the first thing I say is, "Hey, do you have this comic?" And they say, "No, we don't have it. It's been sold out." Blah blah blah. Okay, so we're going and just looking through. They have games and they have comics. They have toys, and that's all well and good. And we walk around this corner. Luke's leading.
Yeah.
Walks around this corner. And he goes, "Hey, look, they have your black and white." And I walked around and saw, okay, they have like a bunch. There's
Yeah.
a bunch now, by the way.
Yeah.
In the series, there's probably, I don't know, 40,
They like,
maybe
they
more,
like
50.
20 on the shelf.
yeah, at
They're like
least.
20 on the shelf. I was like, yeah, but none of them are the Magnolia. And I got halfway through Magnolia, and
He really did.
there it was.
I just pointed. I was pointing.
There it was. Not only was there a brand new in the box Mike Mignola Batman Black and White.
Yeah.
There were 2 of them.
I had another one right behind
right
it.
behind it.
6 years.
He couldn't
And
find
it had
one.
been sitting on the shelf for 6 years.
Probably.
It's been sitting on the shelf since September of 19 September of
September 19th.
nope, not September 19th. September of 2016.
Because it was marked
said
down 30,
9/16
it was
on
marked
the
down 30%. That was the other thing. You got a killer deal on it.
No, it wasn't marked down.
I thought you said they were normally 150.
When you buy them online,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Retail has always been 100.
Retail has always been, yeah.
I don't understand. When you just pay shipping?
No.
What do I not understand about this?
I don't understand what you
What
don't
are you
understand.
not? What are you confused about?
Why would in person it be 100 and online it be 150?
Because they don't sell it. They're,
Because people
You're
don't
saying-
sell it for retail.
Oh, you mean when people mark it up? You saying resell?
yes.
I thought you meant if you bought it from the company online.
No. You
No,
can't
no,
buy
no,
it
no.
from
You
the
meant
company.
resell.
Yes.
Can't buy it
thank
anymore.
you.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
So
you
it's
can't buy-
30% off. Resale.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah. But it was there, and I was like, I mean, I have to buy this, right?
Yes, I'll
It's
take
like-
it, please.
It's like where you look for something and then you find it?
Treasure.
Okay, that's not, but yeah. It was like, what is it? It's like, it's your thing. Like when you finally, it's your, not bucket
Grail.
list, but it's your, it's
Holy
like the
Grail.
Holy Grail. Sure, whatever. It's that thing, right? And I
It's
have
an
it.
item.
I got it, and I was like, I couldn't believe, and I even said to the guys like, so I've been looking for this for years.
He's like, yeah, we have a lot of statues.
Yeah, like, oh, you're not very helpful to
Okay,
me.
you don't know what I'm saying.
But yeah, anyway, so that was exciting. Luke, tell us about your week.
All right, I had a week. You know what, man? Like, it was just travel. I watched. Okay, so I was way behind on movies. I have been behind both of you. Patrick is the master of TV and film. He's seen a whole bunch. Andrew seemingly has nothing else to do but go to movies.
That's pretty much it. That and read books.
I've missed stuff. I feel like for the last year I've just been behind the curve. But I caught up on 2 films on all of my plane rides so far in the last week and a half.
And you gang watched the entire series of Golden Girls.
Again,
Which is
yes.
awesome.
Oh man, Those Golden Girls, jeez, the feels.
Golden Girls, jeez.
Golden Girl cheese.
That's not a good marketable
Let's not talk about it.
item.
Let's keep going. So I watched Battle of the Sexes,
Yes.
which
Oh,
was
I still haven't seen that.
yeah,
With Steve Carell.
Steve
and,
Carell and
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone. And it's based on the story of Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs, and their not championship, but their exhibition match that was kind of like a turning point for women's sports and women's tennis. Maybe it was really
You
good.
know, my mom watched that live on TV.
I did know that.
Yes.
I believe you.
It's weird that you didn't know that his mom watched that.
I don't remember if we
You
didn't-
said it so just factual, just so nonchalant. Like everyone knows this, right?
I didn't remember if we talked about this movie on the pod. I know I mentioned
You
it, but I
mentioned
don't
the
know if
movie,
we went
yeah.
into depth
No,
about
I
it.
don't think you really talked about kind of what it was.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's a really good movie. The acting is great. The thing that I noticed, so at the end of the movie, since it's based on a true story, they told a little bit of story of what happened to those characters after the movie in real life, and then it showed some shots of those people. It was amazing how much likeness or how close in likeness they got to the actual people portrayed, the actual
The
people.
non-actors.
The non-actors,
Real
yeah. It was really good. Like, Steve Carell's Bobby Riggs it just felt really, really close. But the movie's good. Then the other movie that I was able to watch was The Shape of Water. So
Yeah.
I missed that in the theater.
Did you cry?
I did not cry.
Oh, man.
I feel like
I didn't cry
I would
either.
have
I teared
cried.
up.
Here's the reason I didn't cry is I had to watch it in 2 sittings. I had to watch it from Ohio to Atlanta, and then
I
Atlanta
see.
to Baton Rouge to finish. So
that's
it was
great,
cut in
yeah.
half. So I kind of missed a little bit of and on a plane, they always cut out and kind of edit it for TV a little bit. So it didn't feel like some of the
Oh, yeah, you
language
missed some
was
of the-
changed
yeah.
and some of the other stuff maybe
Yeah.
was changed. But man, the visuals on that, from watching it, on my phone, the visuals were amazing. I am definitely going to try and grab it and watch it at home. Really good story. The who was the main actor, the bad guy? What's the
Michael
actor's name?
Shannon.
Michael Shannon, yeah.
I don't know how I knew that, but
I mean, he was a bad dude.
he's a villain. Like
He was
capital
like-
When
V.
the
yes.
oh my, ooh,
And-
he's standing
oh.
in the home or whatever.
And it's
so
just
many
the he
parts.
squeezes it and the stuff comes out. And
Y'all can't see the motion I just did, but
Yeah.
There's a painful moment.
Go watch this back on YouTube next week,
It's
and you'll
still
see
fresh
Patrick.
enough. I don't want to.
Patrick's vomiting presently.
But no, the movie was great, and so it was cool to catch up on some of those movies. There was another one that I'm going to try and watch on the way home after this weekend, but I can't
Geostorm.
remember. Yes, actually, yes.
The funny thing
my
is, I
gosh.
watched it on a plane too, which it is a bit
It's
weird
not a
to
movie
watch.
I want to see, but it's one that
Here's what's
okay,
funny about
I
it.
do
you're
want
a
to see it,
captive
but it's not like
audience.
I
Let me
would
tell you
pick
about
it.
this. Let me tell you about this. I got to see the first 45 minutes on a plane.
Okay.
And by the way, it is kind of weird watching movies where at some point plane falls out of the sky when you're in a plane. It's
Oh, okay.
just
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
eating while you're pooping. I don't know. It's just odd. So
You're welcome,
anyway,
ladies and
It's like you're
gentlemen.
Turd Ferguson.
You get it? It's a funny name. Turd Ferguson.
so anyway, but I watched the first 45 minutes and I recognize it's not a great film. And at the same time, I so bought into the premise of the movie.
Sure.
I was totally in on the mystery element, everything. So much so that I went home and rented it off iTunes so I could finish the film.
Wow.
Nice.
It was garbage. But I totally condone
I'm
watching
totally excited
it.
to watch it. So yeah.
I'm just thinking about all the other ways in which you could have spent that money. that's what I'm hung up on. Okay, so is that it for your around the table?
Yeah, we should hit an ad and then we'll come back.
Let's hit an ad. It's time for our master categories. If you were with us live just a few moments ago, Brian Manley helped us pick our categories. So this is fresh information. We haven't had time to prep this like we typically would on a normal week, but we're gonna make this thing happen because that's what we do, right? We're the masters. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Man, so we're just gonna kick things off. Luke, what did you? So each week we get our tokens
Yeah.
that give us our category. Those
Yep.
are handed to us randomly. Then we pick our topic based on those categories.
Everything you're saying is true.
Yeah. So what'd you get?
I got toys and games, and so I am the master of this. This is my namesake on the show. I have been playing a whole bunch of board games, and the one lately I mentioned on the show, Wasteland Express delivery service, and so
It's
I
like the
talked
Mad
a little
Max
bit.
kinda
It's that-
setup.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of like the post-apocalyptic. You play a driver for this delivery service, and you have to
Right.
go around the board and deliver food, water, ammunition to different outposts. I've played it a couple times now, and that game is just so good. The replay is very high because the game is random enough that you can't really plan and have a set strategy every game because different things happen. There are events that happen. So that game's great. If you like a more in-depth board game with a whole bunch of pieces and a really fun theme, Wasteland Express delivery service will get that for you. The other game that I hadn't played in a really long time and I just revisited the other night is Dead of Winter. So did we play that together?
I haven't played it with you, but I'm pretty sure you talked about it on the show.
I talked about it a long time ago.
Like a year and a half ago.
And I hadn't played it for a while. I played it, plenty of times when it first came out, when I first discovered it. Sat on the shelf. Some new people had never played it. We sat down to play it. Man, that game is really good. So what it is you play. It's a cooperative game. Everybody is part of this outpost, and what you have to do is you have a round counter. You start a scenario in the game. So the starting scenario is you have to kill an X amount of zombies, and you get a certain amount of points to research them. And by the end of the round tracker, if you have that amount of samples, you win the game. And there's a morale tracker. So as things happen in the game, you have to forage for food. You have this board. It's kind of a board. You have a colony, and then you have these other remote places like the gas station, school, hospital, police station, library. These different places where you have to go and try and find different items.
Whether it's zombies.
Yeah, so it's all set in zombies, but it's set in winter.
No. I mean the game Zombies, like with the 3 exclamation points.
It's kind of like that game.
Okay.
It's slightly different though.
Okay.
And so you go and you have to find these things based on different. You have a main objective, but then every round, so the game goes around. Every round, you have a different thing you need to find. Maybe you need to find medicine, or gasoline, or food, or tools, or different things. And so you're all working together to accomplish this. Now, every time you go out or kill a zombie, you have to roll for exposure. So maybe you'll get bitten. Is the idea. So that happens. And when we played the game last time, we made it all the way to the end. The other thing that happens is everybody gets a secret objective too. So you have if you make it through the main objective together, you win. But if you complete your secret objective, you double win the game. So you. And sometimes there is a betrayer, somebody that's against the group. In the game we played, we didn't have a betrayer, but a guy was trying to complete his secret objective, and we were on the very last turn. We had 1 morale left because we had missed a couple things and some people had died. He needed to get back to the outpost to build a barricade to complete his 3rd barricade to win his secret objective. So he took a character back, did it, and then he was like, well, I have an extra turn. I have an extra die of ability that I can do. I'll just bring this other guy back and kill a zombie. When you travel in the game, you have to roll for exposure. Traveled, no problem. Killed the zombie, had to roll for exposure again. He got bitten, which means he dies instantly. And then it spreads to the next person with the lowest influence in the colony. That person died. Then that person died.
No.
And once one person dies, you move the morale down. And we were already at 1. So he died, morale to 0, we lost the game.
Oh my gosh.
And we were on the last turn, we would have won.
And why did he do it? So why did he do it?
Hearts, because he was just using an extra ability that I had left over. He didn't really have anything to do with it, so he's like, I'll just do this.
What's that guy's name?
Nick.
Way to go, Nick.
I know. He already felt bad enough about
Shame.
it.
Shame.
His newt is
Shame. They say
lick his newt.
I don't want to say the phrase lick his newt.
All right, you did it.
Nick is shoot. It's fine. Move on. Nick is shoot. This is live.
Nope.
This is broadcast.
Nick is shoot. Anyway, Dead of Winter.
Did you mean to say lick?
I was trying to say lick is Nick and Luke mixed together.
Oh yeah,
That's
you're
a
right.
hard sentence to say.
Lick is Nick and Luke mixed together.
Okay, well, after I've said it.
Anyway, the game is really good. If you like cooperative games, if you like zombies, if you like kind of this theming, you'll really like that. They have an expansion for it that adds some new locations and other tools. That's really good. Just buy board games and play board games.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down
Except,
to.
to be fair, Luke is a freak.
Okay.
And I feel like you don't get the full enjoyment out of board games because you don't have to spend the several hours reading the directions.
Is that the enjoyment?
You never get as much playtime as everyone else because you just immediately understand how the game works. So I feel like you're just not getting your money's worth.
No, I
That's
get
all.
to play just more of the actual game, which is fun.
I
don't
wish
know.
everybody was like Luke. That's the problem. Why?
Okay.
Only in this.
No, because I don't like getting destroyed.
Thanks for
games I'm
clarifying,
brand new to.
Andrew.
Well, because when we crack open a box for the first time, you have this like feeling of,
Oh, well,
I
'cause
might
there-
have a chance.
There's only so many mechanics though that
Yeah,
you can
it's
play
true.
off
But I know
of.
that. But like, I am stupid for always thinking I might have a chance, and
Well, yeah,
then
that's
I
on you.
get destroyed.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So on that note, before you toss it over
Yeah.
to me,
You, yeah, sure.
we haven't played a game yet. We've been together now for almost
We have. So if
56
you
hours.
if you are here at Creative South and you're listening, we have 2 board games that I brought that we should play at some point.
well, we've been running
At the
super,
Marriott.
like
Lickanoot and
we've-
back groin. It's 2 new games.
You don't want to play them. They're both bad. But I think we've been running so fast and so
Yeah.
hard since we've been here. We've been doing, going.
Right.
Once we're done with this broadcast, it's kind of like we can chill for
Yeah.
a little bit
Yeah, we
before
can relax for a
jump back
second.
into the thick of it
Right.
tomorrow, which is
Tomorrow.
awesome.
Great.
Which is 24 hours from now.
So yeah, you can find those games on Amazon or your local game store and play them. Andrew,
Yeah. So I'm going to make this
What?
real quick. So I got the TV and film, which, like I said, I've been seeing a lot of movies, and
Yeah.
I talked about them all on the show. Here's a show I've been watching that I haven't mentioned yet, and I've talked to you guys about it like briefly. I think I've just mentioned that I've been watching it, but I haven't really said much about it.
Okay.
It's not new. I think it's on its 5th season, but Transparent.
yes.
And it's Jeffrey Tambor, and it's an Amazon Prime original show, and
That's the only. That's the only person I know from the show is Jeffrey Tambor.
It's not though. So like in later seasons, maybe maybe Funke is on the show.
her, not her, not Anne.
Not Anne. And the lady, I'm blanking on her name right now. I don't have my computer in front of me. But the lady who plays Angela from
From The Office.
Nope.
Okay, not Angela.
Angela from Who's the Boss?
Oh.
Is Jeffrey Tambor's wife.
Yes.
So they're already separated by the time the show starts. And if you're unfamiliar with this, his character is a transgendered man who is born a man and is treated like a man his whole life, and then well into his 50s decides to come out as a female, and he resonates as he sees himself as a female. He has, what's the word I'm looking for? It's transgender, but he not associates, he
Identifies.
He identifies as a female, and it's him coming out to his friends and his family, who he has like 3 adult children who also have families, and it's the dichotomy of what happens when everything changes.
Sure.
And you stop calling dad, you have to start calling dad mom, and then you have 2 moms, and just that whole thing. There's certainly elements of it that are fun. There's certainly elements of it that are heartbreaking, but for the most part, it is a very, very enlightening TV show, and
Tons of nominations, tons of wins.
it's one it's highly acclaimed, and for being a white guy who grew up in a Baptist family, a lot of this stuff is new for me. You know, it's stuff that I've never had to kind of deal with on that level, and it's so intriguing, and it's just beautifully shot, and the story is beautifully told, and it is so refreshing in a lot of ways to be able to see this and feel like, because my family is messed up in so many other ways. This isn't particularly the thing that we've ever had to deal with, but we are like screwed up in all the other ways. And to see that family dynamic and see how the family reacts initially, and then how they come back together, and how this becomes the norm, and how they love each other through this stuff, and all the ins and outs and the shakes of that. It's so good. It's hard to turn it off when you're watching it.
How far into the show are you so far?
Season 3. So I've got.
Because there's 4 seasons right now.
I think there's 5, right?
Well, so they're releasing a 5th, but the thing is, Jeffrey Tambor's not going to be in the 5th.
Okay, so the 4 seasons. I accidentally, the first 4 episodes I watched were of season 4, like the current season.
Oops.
I didn't realize. I'm like, man, this seems like everyone's okay with this. Like it didn't seem like it was. That sounded bad. That sounded bad.
No, but
it seemed like everyone had already accepted this as a reality,
Sure.
right? At least in terms of the family dynamic.
Yeah, and what you
then
had
I was
known
like,
of the
this
show
doesn't-
was like not clicking.
Right, I'm like,
Yeah.
this doesn't feel right, and then I'm like, oh, that's why, because I'm missing 3 full seasons of content.
Sure.
So I'm just started the season 3 before we started traveling and everything, but oh man, it's really good. So
And that's
I would
Amazon,
say
correct?
It's Amazon. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch the show.
They've been killing it, man.
Yeah. All right, Patrick, take us home.
Yeah, absolutely. So, art and design, my favorite. I actually have 2 things I want to mention.
Can I
So,
tell you something?
what's that?
I almost called you Buckaroo Jensen. And I had no reason to, because it's not even a thing that we've like
Have you
referenced.
ever heard the
Buckaroo
phrase
Jensen.
Buckaroo
No, that's the thing. Like, I was gonna say, it's up to you, Buckaroo Jensen, and I'm like, I'm glad I didn't. But then,
I
I
like
feel like
it.
I need to acknowledge.
No, I like that. So there's actually 2 things I want to mention. So the first, I want to mention the podcast family for just a second. We have so Will C. We actually just mentioned him on this show, so it's kind of funny that happened.
He's listening right now.
Will C's listening right now, probably. Will C's been a part of the family for a while,
Yeah.
and just awesome guy. We've actually had him on the show during our poster episode, and we've talked to him a lot, and he's informed a lot of the discussion even behind the scenes. And Will C just got hitched. Is that the term?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's full on hot.
He was just made
So if
an
you
honest
have
man.
If you have been hitched, are you
hotched?
hotched? You're hotched.
You're hotched. So he is now hotched. But what's very cool, we have somebody else in our community, Arsenal Handicraft, which is Dennis and... I should have said names.
I would have known it until you said it, and now I can't think of it.
Well, it's Dennis and one other person. But we've had
It's a husband and wife
It's a
crew.
husband and wife,
Right.
and we've had
Yeah.
them on the show before as well. So you can find that in the archive, m1podcast.com/archive. And but they did an
Master of Web.
incredible invite for the wedding. So what they actually did is that it's like a night sky, and you see this, and I'm sure it's actually a landmark, the building. I just don't know what the landmark is, but it's a night sky, stars out, and there's this writing. It's I love you to the moon and back. Correct? Is that the writing?
Yeah.
The script that's above it, and then you see just the silhouettes of 2 people standing over in this kind of building slightly in the distance, and almost like this like little stage area. And the script is actually done by his wife.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm not saying names because I'm trying to protect her identity. We'll see. You're welcome.
Yeah.
She's in witness protection program.
Yeah. Except now she's married to Will C, so that's not great. I mean, now we've
If
said
you're
everything.
trying to be, yeah, okay. No, but the script is done by her, and then obviously Arsenal did the print. There's a regular, there's a variant, there's
The man and woman are them.
I know that.
Okay. Well, you said man and woman, like say it's Will and his wife who were at
I
the
just
time
thought
the
people
fiance.
could infer that piece of it.
The element of like personality or personal touch to it, I think it needs to be
Okay,
said.
no,
Maybe-
it's them, but it's very much so in the Arsenal style. Like if you've
Yeah.
seen the Arsenal, any of the Arsenal prints before, then this definitely lines up with that. It's just a beautiful print, and those went out as favors to everybody that was in the wedding. They got a copy of the print, like a smaller size.
like a 5x7 or something.
And then
like that.
he has a larger size as well. And again, there's a variant that I think it has like a glow in the dark layer and that kind of stuff.
Gosh, the glow in the dark layer is great.
Yeah.
So I'm consistently.
Which is like Arsenal's thing.
Right,
Like
I'm
that.
consistently amazed with what they do,
Yeah.
which is weird because you think you'd get used to it, right? Because that's their thing. But they tend to find new ways to intrigue me with their artwork.
It's Dennis and Christina.
Christina,
Yeah, that's what I was
I'm
trying to
sorry,
say.
Christina.
It's fine.
Because they do the glow in the dark with like a light touch. it's like the campfire where only the fire glowed. So they're not like overdoing it. I think that's what makes it nice. So anyway, that's an awesome piece. And just knowing that Wilsey's in the channel, knowing that Dennis and Christina Arsenal, they're in the channel, it's like something happening in the family, and that feels really cool. So his wedding actually lined up with Crop, so we didn't get to go.
I know. I was looking forward to it because I've never been to Baltimore.
So it lined up with Crop. We wanted to go. We weren't able to.
Did you send an RSVP? Did you send an RSVP?
I contacted him. I had it in my car to send.
We let him know. We messaged him.
Okay.
And I forgot, like it got buried in my car, and I never sent it, but I sent him a message.
Okay.
And I let him know.
I was going to
You
ask.
sent one.
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
I filled it out and
The reason
did a sad
I did
face.
also.
The reason I was silent is because Mackenzie could have. I just don't handle that in my life. Like Mackenzie.
Oh, you have a person for that.
Yeah, man. Cool. Well, she just knows that if she doesn't, it won't happen. So she handles a lot of things that are social in nature,
Yeah.
and
Socially
I just
awkward
don't know
things.
about them. So anyway, that's one thing. So the second thing I want to talk about is more of physical design, but this lines up with the talk that we heard from Draplin when we were at Pop-Up Crop, and it's what
Yeah.
I want to relate it to. But unfortunately, I was in the hospital, not me, but a close family member, well, my dad, was in the hospital for a week and a half or so, and so I was in there with him. And one thing I noticed, so he was in what is considered like a state-of-the-art hospital. Maybe, the building is older, but all the equipment is just considered like the best you can get right now. And he kept like the you have the tubes that go to like the saline and like the medicine and all that kind of stuff, like morphine and stuff like that. They all kept getting tangled, and it was driving me crazy. I had to watch two different nurses come in there and like unplug stuff and untangle and replug in and whatever. And it just hit me like, why isn't there some type of like plastic channel, right, that has like 4 channels that are color coded that you could lay the tubes in, snap it closed, and now they're labeled. Now you know where they go to. You don't have to like trace them back and do all that kind of stuff. Now my point is that might totally exist.
Why don't they just use different colored tubes in general?
Yeah. Patrick.
I don't have an answer for it. And my point isn't that. My point is to say a lot of you people listening are designers or you're creatives. Like you have the ability to make stuff. You have the ability to think outside the box. You have the ability to like take a problem, pull it apart, turn it around, put it back together. Awesome. Use that in your everyday stuff. The talk that Draplin gave when we were at Pop-Up Crop, a big piece of that was, he talked about his shelves, which sounds like a funny thing to talk about, but he said there wasn't a solution for me. And so what I did is I just made the solution.
I'm a problem solver.
Yes.
That's what designers are. They're problem solvers.
And I can take my design and I can apply it to shelves. In the same way, I can take it and apply it to someone's birthday card, or I can take it and apply it, whatever. I don't have to wait for someone else to do it. And I don't have to relegate my design to only logos or only, layout on this piece. I can apply the concepts of layout to solving an engineering problem or whatever it is. So my urge with this is just to say, if you're listening, look for those problems in everyday life that may be outside the bounds of what you consider graphic design or consider typography, but look for those opportunities to put together a solution, to solve a problem, and to better this space that we all share.
Sure. Yeah.
So
listen to Vanilla Ice and heed his advice.
He'll solve it. Yeah.
Because we'll check out the hook while the DJ, that's us,
And
right now,
revolves it.
and revolves in. What is it revolves in?
We don't know.
Absolvent.
Well, the
Absolves
DJ
us.
absolves us.
So no, that's it. That is my thing for today.
I think that's great. So, man, this has been a
If
pretty
you
big.
do create, some sort of design for tubing for hospitals and sell it and make tons of money, just with finder's fee. Okay?
Yeah,
Cool.
You-
Thanks.
yeah,
Hospitals
can-
will probably
you
pay
can contribute-
$1,000 a piece. I mean, they overpay for everything.
Right, you can contribute to patreon.com/MegaOnePodcast. And that's super, super helpful. So we're gonna wrap up this portion of the live broadcast, which means that's the end of this recorded episode.
Yes.
Man, you can find us on, I was gonna say Facebook. I mean, we're on Facebook, but like, why lead with Facebook?
Don't
Who
go to
leads with-
Facebook.
Yeah.
Nah.
You can find us on all the
Are
different
we-
social platforms.
Is it like in style to delete Facebook right now?
It is kind of, yes.
Is it real? Oh,
Yeah.
because in solidarity.
Because privates.
Yeah. Well, that's live. We're live.
Privacy.
Yeah, so we're on all the different social platforms. You can find us at M of One Podcast. It's pretty simple. We're anywhere.
.com, not like .biz. Oh, you meant
On
for the socials.
Yep,
Yeah,
we'll get there
that's-
together.
Thank you.
I like this.
At M of One Podcast.
At M
everywhere.
of One Podcast. everywhere.
.co.uk.
Yep, but that won't get you anywhere. You'll just get an FOF page, 404 page, because 4 starts with F. Is why. Oh, brother! I just became painfully aware of how live this is. I almost had to cut that.
I was gonna say this is the part of the show where Andrew would say, "Cut that."
Yeah, we'll start that over again. You can find us on the web at mofonepodcast.com, where you can find show notes and links to all of the stuff in our episodes and our podcast. If you are new to the show or you're listening to this because of Creative South, there is an archive full of incredible people. A lot of the people that you've seen on stage here at Creative South have sat in the chair with us and chatted with us and given us their time. Man, they are. There's so much in there. So just go to mofonepodcast.com/archive to see all of that stuff. We've had a blast at Creative South so far, and we've just gotten started. And so we can't wait to see what the rest of this thing has to offer. We are on a new platform, so if you want to join our family channel, join the conversation there. We've been on Slack for a long time, and if you missed it, we've shifted over to Discord.
Yes.
But you don't have to worry about knowing any of that stuff. Just go to mofonepodcast.com/family to join the conversation with hundreds of other creatives just like you, or maybe not like you, but people you want to be like. I don't know. But there's artists from all over the world, designers, creatives from all over the world doing all sorts of really incredible and talented things inside that channel, so you can ask questions and dialogue. And I mean, who wouldn't want to wake up early in the morning and text Luke? That's what
true.
I want to do. And so you can do that. So just go to mofonepodcast.com/family, and you can be a part of that conversation. After that, I think that's all.
Yeah.
Right, you can find us personally. I'm at Andrew Sale with 3s instead of E's on all the different platforms.
I'm at M of One Podcast. I mean, I listen. I have personal. It's the Great Patsby. That's with 2 A's on Instagram exclusively.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm Luke Gall, Gaul, on everything.
Except for Twitch.
Twitch is M_Luke.
Yeah. Okay. So that's us. We're going to get out of this episode. I'm Andrew.
I'm Patrick.
And I'm Luke.
Peace out.
Bye.
Hold on to your butts.